Alright guys, here we go with a live look at a game called Stand Scenes of the Immortals. So basically had the devs reach out, kind of like say, hey, we have a Gore slasher, mind checking it out. So yeah, here we go. We'll be having a look at that. And as you can see, the featured print behind me is still the Kawasaki Vulcan. The guitar strap not for sale, but the print very much is. So let's get right into it and see what it is. But of course I do have to make sure I can see your comments. And yeah, just have a first impressions of a new Gore slasher. And by the way, they are actually running the demo right now, so basically you can play what you see in the stream. So what's the... So let's just check it out. By the way, is it working? I do actually want to see if it's gonna be working. No, I think it's not working, no. Yeah, so the stream isn't really working. I'll try the display capture perhaps. Is this perhaps any better? I'll have to see. So, come on. Display capture. Okay, yeah, so we do have the display capture working. I'm seeing it on the stream live now. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, things happen. Not all games are very well supported. Oh, and they... What the hell is up with those effects? Wait. So yeah, so the monster screams are just fine, but something here just went. Yeah, I'm gonna have to lower those. So as you can see, we do have some dismemberment. We do have some beats coming off. The stains, however, are excessive. Like every single slash gonna just absolutely splash the environment, and I do wonder if they stick around, because I think in a horde game like this, where as you can see the enemies don't have a great deal of weight to them, like not a great deal of weight whatsoever, but the severed body balance physics are kinda cool, and apparently it does jack shit to the sound effects. I'm gonna have to leave in this stream with the loudest lighting, it seems. So yeah, so as you can see, every single slash just causes a huge stain. But we do have some dismemberment. And so far I think that the stains stick around. I do have to check that for cause and effect, so we'll see some severed heads here. We'll see some bodies here. Let's get perhaps the action over into here. So yeah, he was unlagged, but it kind of looks like he was almost vertically cut in half. But yeah, like as you can see, the stains still, at least for a while, they stick around. But the ragdoll weight does leave some to be desired. Hey Wolfie, doing those every week, usually on Sundays, like had on yesterday with Over the Top World War I, but I'm doing one today, and maybe I'll do one tomorrow? I'm not sure. So yeah, I'm usually not streaming on Mondays, but usually Sundays at this time. 10 PM Israeli time. Yeah, like the first one I'm seeing right now is actually the ragdolls are quite weightless. Let's see if I can showcase that. This one wasn't the worst, but some are quite weightless. Let's do a badass charge attack. Oh, that was kind of cool. I wonder if there is a non-dismembering response. Let's see. I think there's like some pre-made blood around the neck area. Pretty sure it wasn't there. You know, like, there is an objective and stuff, but just slashing is kind of fun actually, so... Yeah, so there is a non-dismembering response. But yeah, just looks like a blood-soaked area on the body. Not sure if it has anything to do with where you hit, to be honest. But yeah, like... kind of fun, and the mess does stick around, at least for... well, for some time. I just saw a stain here. There used to be a stain here, but... yeah. I think in a game like this, once again, a key feature should be mess that sticks around. How do I... Need to have like teammates cover me and stuff. But yeah, like for example, this kind of a... not an icy area, but... this one that should be... getting progressively messier and messier. Once again, dev guys still hiding stuff is, is something you should fix. I think I got gored up. I'm not gonna be watching bots play and stuff. Oh no, not my location, man, it's summer here. It's hot as shit, I have my AC here. The storm is in the game. The storm is in the game. I basically lowered the effects and everything to be, or the volume to be quite low, but for whatever reason the lighting is still very loud. It's a bug. I gotta make it actually... you know what, I'll make it easy, I just wanna slash. I wanna slash, I don't care about challenge, you know. If it was like a tactical game, like sure, make the AI as fairly brutal as you can. In a slasher, I just wanna chop stuff up. As for the enemies and their ability, so you saw like you have these small fodder guys that are like some of the bigger, weightier ones. But yeah, we still have no game that makes fighting spongy characters fun. And that drives me slightly mad, to be honest. Like, Dead Island 2 could have it. But it didn't. Yeah, so here we have just the regular fodder guys. This guy is actually a little bit one of the more serious ones. Oh yeah, so the non-dismembering response is just pre-made stuff. Yep. Yeah, there actually are like techniques now to make the those responses even be cheaper than decals. Was he like a vertical chop, or is it just like the looks of the dismemberment here? But yeah, so I was kind of talking about it in the Dead Island 2 review. Though to make them fun to fight, it's just making them responsive, you know, like not just having them have a big health bar, but actually seeing good feedback for these flashes as you are slowly tearing them apart. And yeah, like they should have thicker skin. Like for example, you have this very detailed simulation in Dead Island 2 of flesh, skin, organs, and all of that. So they should have thicker skin, but they should be able to mangle them up very nicely. Like armor damage, nasty cuts. You have like chunks of armor, just have them come off, you know, like you have this intact character. As you were saying, you have this just generic overlay, a few like pre-made wounds, but imagine like stuff coming off. Where do you hit them? What do you mean like 2 of me streaming? I'm not sure, gotta be a glitch or something. Like the stream appears twice or could be, I don't know. You know, Wolfie, actually in terms of gore we do have more and more games that deliver decent to really amazing results, you know, like once Dead Island 2, if you want something more grounded, The Last of Us, which I might stream tomorrow or on next Sunday. Like those games are just mind-blowingly amazing. And you have like many decent experiences, you know, like Insurgency Sandstorm. It's pretty good. Quite good actually. Half Sword shaping up to be also in the mind-blowing category. The aspect that is a little bit lacking is actually destruction, so I was streaming over the top World War 1 yesterday, and I really enjoyed precisely because it scratches that destruction itch that other games just don't. Yeah, so just a few like pre-made red soaked areas on the characters. For the non-dismembering stuff, and once again, flying limbs plus physics is just fun. Though that was overly weightless. Anyway, what's next? Just looting stuff. Or I still have tons of enemies around you. Can I stain the rocks perhaps? I should be able to. Yeah, we do have some rock staining. Okay, yeah, so you know, like this, it's actually not a bad result. Gotta be honest. Wolfie, exactly right, and I read about just that in the Killing Floor 3 video I made. I'll be having a look at the new release as well, but probably won't be too much better, but I'll still have a look. In the end, I do absolutely agree. Shotguns should punch holes, not cut in half. Yeah, so the ragdoll weight has to be improved, guys. It absolutely has to be improved. Not great what I'm seeing here. And you know, like, actually Doom 2016 was probably like the most mild in that regard from the Doom games. You had like the most kind of ground response, because what came next was just, you know, in both Eternal and the Dark Ages, just entirely cartoonish stuff. And they fully embraced the cartoonishness, and you know, like, it is supposedly an M-rated game, but it feels like it's designed for children, seriously. You know, I couldn't mind something like Brutal Doom with modern graphics. Now I do have like more allies here. Can you like attack Altair guy, not just me? Yeah, like they ignore almost entirely the other guy. I'm gonna die very, very soon. Now he gets to enjoy the mess. I mean, I generally think that the ratings are kind of actually ridiculous, you know. Some people shouldn't play violent games even when they're 30, and I was playing Soldier of Fortune 1 when I was 10, so... Like, the way they classify of what is not acceptable for a certain age is just kind of ridiculous. Yeah, so basically, Soldier of Fortune 1 is the reason I got to making the reviews, so you know, pretty much always liked gaming, since we had the first family PC, and one day just friends come over and say, we have this new game, Soldier of Fortune. Wasn't new, but was new for us then. And you know, like, we installed it, we played, and man, I was mind blown. So I really like when games have, for example, like SWAT 3, it had kind of a small red hole where you shoot the character. I thought that was pretty cool. It had like a blood trail, so you shoot the character, and as he runs away, he's gonna like bleed for a little bit. Also, like, looks very simple, just red circles, nothing impressive whatsoever, but did find that to be pretty cool, especially when the response was kind of weighty, which SWAT 3 is a pretty weighty game. I do remember the burned response in the old Rainbow Six games. Not sure which one, if it was like the second or the third. So I always liked that stuff, and when I was introduced to Soldier of Fortune 1, man, there was no going back from that. Suddenly, I have this crazy bloodlust in video games. And after playing that, after playing also Soldier of Fortune 2, I'm playing other games and I see like, that's missing, and so like for probably like 10 plus years or so, I'm basically like go reviewing games in my mind. Because I say, okay, so this one has cool blood spilling, you know, like for example, nice animations, but no wounds where you hit the character. Or dismemberment is weightless, or you know, like wounds are ugly and the characters barely spill any blood. And stuff like that, and yeah, so stuff like that, basically go reviewing games in my mind. And eventually just deciding to talk about it, just like one day. I made some videos about DayZ. Basically started a gaming channel and figured, you know, like, since I have a gaming channel, might as well talk about the Gore stuff. And yeah, and I will say my absolute favorite Shadow Warrior is number 2. It's a great game. It is a great game. I would say quite underrated. Like, I think most fans of the series, as I was saying, most fans of the series probably, I think they like the first game, like the reboot, the first reboot most, but for me the big one is Shadow Warrior 2. Love the gameplay, love the open levels. And I think it was I was playing on the second easiest difficulty, like the characters weren't spongy. At all. So yeah. And you know what? Actually, as you are saying it, Wolfie, I do have to stream Shadow Warrior 2. I'm actually gonna have to remember that. Do have to revisit the game, at least in a stream format. So I will say thanks a lot for reminding me, actually. Forgot about it. And I do love that game. Once again, not perfect in terms of in our aspect, but quite fun, that is what matters perhaps the most. Yeah, so I think the lighting thing is actually a glitch, so I did lower pretty much all the sound effects, all the voices, and as you can see, like, everything else, the volume is perfectly good, but the lighting is glitched out, and so feedback for this game specifically is actually like the severed limbs physics are quite nice, but the ragdolls are too weightless. And some characters do vanish pretty quickly, and you do have stains only where you hit the character, which wouldn't be a huge issue if, you know, like they don't fly away, but kind of body parts, he flies away, he keeps bleeding, and he's laying on clean ground, and that is an issue, guys. And there is no config for how many bodies and body parts stay, so that's bodies, blood and body parts. That is also an issue. Yeah, but speaking, and I will say, like, slashing is decently satisfying. Once again, like, the limbs coming off, heads coming off. I think it is pretty funny, like, nothing special, nothing, like, mind-blowing, but pretty fun, I would say. So yeah, so I think that just a massive ass stain as the only response on the impact, fine, but at least don't have the characters obscene fire, I would say. And of course, configurability for stains, bodies and body parts. Like, as you can see, he's still splashing blood. No trail, no anything, so yeah, I think in a game like this, staining and mess should be like the key features in the aspect of Gore. Yeah, like, Moonborn looks quite fun, yeah. It's a cool game. Sean is a chill guy, so I'll be having some fun with that. And I think that generation of levels is gonna be a feature there, so you should have like that be as a factor for replayability, which I do very much appreciate, gotta say. Yeah, I gotta be honest, usually in games I avoid all the element stuff, I just, the only element I'm gonna be using in that game is claws, basically. Everything else, not interested. I still have to capture stuff and shit. Yeah, so for me, the element's gonna be claws. Once again, body part physics here are quite fun. Games that do fire damage really well, so yeah, it did it fine, but there was like some game I really liked for it. I'm trying to remember which. I can't think off the top of my head. Oh, good question. Games with satisfying fire damage. I will say the acid in that island too was very, very nice. Absolutely love the melting enemies there. Like, it could go all the way to the bone, which for some reason it didn't, but acid in that event too is probably like when I think of satisfying elemental stuff, that's the one. I mean, I'll tell you what, PP Poo, every game begins with something, you know, like, just begin like with the UE engine, right? And it is up to the devs to make it feel good. And at the moment, the ragdolls don't. The severed limb physics do, ragdolls not so much. Once again, damage painting, guys, damage painting. Probably won't go as far as making like chunks of armor on the character break, but it would make a difference. No, like in terms of UE5, UE5, like, or UE4, was it? Basically, like, when I think about satisfying ragdolls in a war game, Ground Branch is one of the ones that immediately come to mind, and that is a Unreal Engine game, and you know, like, they made it happen. So, doable, very much doable. And I think should be a priority, absolutely. How is this still alive? Now if they would kindly let me activate one of those. Yep, not gonna happen. I'm just gonna die here. Let's try perhaps. Yeah, so just imagine every body and every beat staying here. I'm probably not gonna be surviving this. Probably not. Hello, Warzone. You know, I do have some wild ideas for what to make on the channel, but basically the people want Gore, so... And there's a whole bunch of cool stuff to cover, and... but he shall receive. And occasionally, you know, like I'll make something like special discussing gameplay stuff. Like I began playing Medieval Total War for a video on that. Can take a while, but I will eventually get to it because I do love that game, and I do kind of wanna talk about what makes that game great. So also the body damage here is pretty basic. You have dismemberment, limbs, head, cuts in half. The non-dismembering stuff I'm getting tired, so that stuff is just like some pre-made red soaked areas. Blood spitting, just a huge red stain on the moment of impact. And the ragdoll is quite weightless, so you know, I think in a game like this, where slaying masses of hordes is basically the gameplay, the focus should be on the aftermath. But as you can see, like, the body part physics do feel quite satisfying. And the blood spitting, you just get this pretty generic huge stain at the moment of impact, and when it piles up, you know, not too bad. So yeah, so here the focus should indeed be aftermath, I think. And if they would make the spongier ones more responsive, that would also be quite sweet. So let's perhaps mess this area up, so let's have them just come at me. And slash, screw the objective, I'm just gonna like make them bleed. And perhaps mess this area up. And thank you, Gore. As I was saying, like, on the character himself, dismemberment is very basic, as you can see. Like, those stumps are about as basic as they get, but the body part physics, when they come off, is what makes dismemberment here to be pretty satisfying, I would say. Because, you know, like, this... Yeah, so we do actually have the vertical cutting in half. And as you can see, the looks are very, 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 very basic. But the severed bits physics. Nah, man, there is no like, there is no pulling here. You basically have a stain. The moment you hit a character, there is a response stain, and that is all you have. And you know, in this game where you are fighting masses, when it piles up, yeah, like, that'll do, that'll do. Think like a Space Marine, basically, yeah, so, as you can see, he was slain. He isn't like bleeding down those rocks though. That would have been pretty sweet, to be honest. But you know, session 2 guys. The rocks get fed with blood. They need blood. You know what, let's feed these rocks altar with blood. You know, like, right now this looks not bad at all, you know? But as you can see, things do vanish right before our eyes, and the vanishing isn't immediate, as you can see, but there is no control over it, and I do love it when that happens in the games, and occasionally it does, especially in the horde games. And the ragdolls are just absolutely very, very over the top. And that's what I was saying when it all piles up. Not bad, like, not bad at all. But it has to stick around for longer. Renzo buried up the rock out there for a little bit. Not bad. Right guys, come here. Make it fun, make it fun. So, yeah, when I was trying to play the objective, I had just them spam at me endlessly. But now when I'm trying to just mess an area up, no regard for the objective, they give me breaks. And so as you can see, just a bunch of stains at the moment of impact. You know, like, you probably won't beat that Island 2 Gore, but it's gonna do its thing in a what looks like a very nice and messy manner. So yeah, you know, like, gonna take a while before something beats that Island 2 Gore, because, you know, like, Dead Island 2 and The Last of Us is actually an example of AAA devs putting in the AAA budget into Gore. And that's glorious. Absolutely noteworthy. You know, like, we do have a whole bunch of AAA games who do technically have Gore, but it's kind of shit. And very few where you do really have that level of effort, that budget put into the Gore set of the game. And then I hope we'll be able to see more. And nowadays, with engines, by the way, like Unreal, small indie teams can make like pretty amazing stuff. So Half-Sword is one to keep in mind, of course. We've seen the coverage here on the channel. It is slowly going into a legendary status. What's there now is quite fun, and the devs have even more wild plans, so... Really can't wait to see more from Half-Sword. It's gonna be awesome. Alright, so I think I'll see what happens at the end of the timer. Maybe it's just gonna be a mission failed. We'll see, we'll see. What did he lose? Perhaps an arm. They are kind of angry with me. But yeah, so I should be able to... So I should be just getting a pretty insane wave of enemies. Yep, so we're gonna be getting some pretty insane waves of enemies, and just gonna fight to the death. To the bitter end. Take with me as many as I can. Remove as many heads as I can. Before they eventually just overwhelm me. Gonna be happening pretty soon, it seems. Yep. Because they keep coming and coming and coming, and can't even charge an attack to maybe deal some more damage, but I pissed them off, basically. But yeah, to the bitter end. I lost one guy. And there we go, yes, so alright, yeah, so in conclusion, yeah, pretty fun basic slasher. Not quite my thing hugely, but, you know, like, to check out on stream like this, why not, so as I was saying, pretty fun dismemberment, and particularly for the physics of the body parts that are coming off, and those are quite fun. Ragdoll weights needs to be seriously improved. And of course I think it should have more of an emphasis on lasting mass, because in a horde game like this, I think that should be the key strength, and I talk about it over and over, and I guess I'll keep talking about it until more games do it, so yeah. Probably gonna just rest tomorrow, chill and stuff, and been an intense last week, kind of intense this week, so I'll probably see you on Sunday with a stream of most likely The Last of Us Part 2, because they fixed the blood streaks issue when you have higher frame rates, so see you then.